being necessary or cogent to come on and share all the bad news. However, however, I understand that life isn't always going to be positive. It's what you do with the circumstances that you're presented with that makes the difference. And certainly I know that.
Yes.
And so I'm here with my aunt again, Roxanne. Thank you for joining me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really important that I make this a family affair because we have really been rocked by
Yeah.
the untimely passing of her sister, my aunt Lynn Cunningham. And so I just want to talk about her and celebrate sort of, who she was and just give people out there who know her, who know us, just a bit of peace and comfort knowing that we're okay.
Yeah, we're okay.
We're okay. So I guess Roxanne, why don't you tell the story a little bit because it really is kind of interesting how it all came about. With you during this whole pandemic and us not really being able to see one another. You made it a very clear point to reach out every Wednesday for your weekly call.
Yes.
So let's go back to what was that, May 3rd or 4th?
May 3rd or 4th. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had been up at my cousin's house because at that time my cousin was in hospice, home hospice.
Yes.
So I was staying up there while her daughter took a much needed break. And when I got home, or before I got home, I had called my sister Lynn to tell her that when I get home, we'll, make arrangements to do what she wanted to do, and we'll go out and have lunch.
Right.
And she said, okay, just give me a call when you get home. Well, when I got home that Thursday, I called, and they were kind of sort of worried because I said Lynn don't usually take this long to respond back, and she knew I was coming home, so she knew we were going to meet up to take care of the business that she wanted to take care of. But in the long run, what I wound up doing was a wellness check. I called the city police and had them go down to her apartment.
And we were on the way.
We were en route. Yeah, we were en route.
Yeah, because I had contacted a mutual friend who lives down in Bolton Hill, and he said he would run right over and check on her.
Yes.
And yeah, it didn't.
It didn't sit right.
Didn't sit right.
It didn't sit right. But when we got there, the police was there, and he said we're getting ready to go up, but we weren't allowed to go with him. And then our friend went with the police to show them the apartment, and he called down and said she was gone. And I knew what that meant, and as a result, the floor just dropped out because it was not expected. I did not know. We had not heard nothing about her being sick or anything. And when we know that in life you have to die, but when you die unexpectedly, it's even more horrific because it's very surreal.
Absolutely. And because we were sort of thinking, we were kind of preparing for, um, we were preparing for Sylvia to pass.
Yes, yes.
And God rest her soul.
Yes, because she
we
passed.
lost her
Yes.
a couple weeks ago. But I'm still
Processing.
trying to wrap my head around it. But
Yeah.
I will tell you, the takeaway from me, Roxanne, is we had the unfortunate task of not only finding her, but having to go through her apartment.
Yes.
And investigate for final paperwork, documentation, preparations, whatever.
Yes, yes.
And unfortunately, we didn't find any of that because, your sister, I love her as I do. She was a fiercely private.
Yes, very private
isolated
person.
individual. I was the only person who really had ever gotten in there, and I had to play a whole cat and mouse game to do that. And she was not thrilled
Yes.
when I did get in the one time. So to have to go through and find all sorts of stuff, but nothing pertaining to what to do in
Right,
the
right.
event of her passing. It puts us in a situation where it puts you because
Yeah, it felt I was next of kin, and the thing about that is, if you do not have a will prepared, it would behoove you.
Yes.
I don't care if you have a penny left,
Yeah.
to write it down and have it notarized and put it somewhere safe, or let your family members know where it is, because we could find nothing, no insurance papers, no. It's hard when you have to take over that responsibility, because then it's up to you to find information if you can, and if you have to go through everything, it takes hours and days. And
days.
Being in a raw situation, you have to put everything on a back burner as far as your feelings are concerned, to concentrate on what has to happen.
Right.
And then it was like, what would she want? There was no notification of how she wanted to be buried. Did she want a funeral service? Did she want to be cremated? That was left up to us, and it's not an easy task. And then with my other sister not being with us, right now she's in a nursing home, a rehab center, I had to make sure she was kept in the loop too, so that she knows what is going on and how it's going on. So it is imperative that you try to do.
Have done with.
That's true. That's true.
It made it rather difficult.
Yes, and as a result, it kind of took the sails out of our wind. The wind went out of our sails, because we didn't know which way to go next. You know, the first night, I didn't sleep at all, because I could not wrap my head around, what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? And then it was like, once it wrapped, then I said, well, what do I do next? It's not easy when it's sudden.
Yeah.
When you expect it to ride. So
it really has. And her memorial is next week.
Yeah, her memorial is next weekend, and we will be at that. We will be attending that. And even still, with this, with the COVID and all, you still have to be cognizant about how many people can be involved and be at the gathering. It's not like it used to be. So all of that has to be considered. So all I can say is, yes, it's hard, but it's life. And you still got to go through that part of life, and you got to let it take you through that. You can't hide it. You can't shut it down. Right. You get in your grieving period. You go through all the grieving stages, and then you try to come on top of it to a place where you're not going to forget them and the love you have for them, but you get to a place where you can live with it, with a dull ache. And every now and then something to pop up and the tears will start. Well, let the tears start. That's what they're for, to cleanse you again.
Absolutely. It's refreshing. And honestly, I once I sort of turned the corner of wallowing.
That can affect anybody, mentally and physically.
Because it's one thing to choose isolation. It's another to have it imposed.
That's correct. That's really correct. So, yes, the positive, the series, I'm glad he's coming back with it. I'm glad he's looking into other aspects of positivity, because even as adults, we adults have gone through it, but he could even, Jerome, you can even take this even further and bring in some young people and see where their positivity level is, or why it's not there, and make it a point to reach for that.
Well, as I said, it is a family affair, and that does you kind of hinted at it. I did bring on a new intern, and he is my nephew and godson. His name is Christopher, and I'm actually going to be doing an interview with him as well.
Yes.
So you guys will be able to meet him up close and personal, and just look forward to more exciting episodes. And I think I'm going to take it in some new, different directions. I'm going to get my very young ingenue's perspective and see, chop it up with him a little bit and see what we can do to bring this message to the younger generation.
That's right. That's right.
He and I had a very frank conversation about what's going on with his friends and their group when it comes to their sexual behavior and attitudes. So I think you guys are going to be really excited to hear what Christopher has to say when the next episode pops up. So
Yes.
I want to thank you, Auntie.
Oh, you're welcome.
For sitting with me, and we had to do this together, and it wasn't easy.
No, it's never easy.
I'm prepared to give that right back in return by bringing you more consistent episodes.
Yes, yes.
So thank you for tuning in. And until next time, this is Jerome signing out.